Why weren't attempts made to reconcile the delegate lists before, the delegates list before, the primaries were held?
You know what you're talking about? It's like saying I'm going for JAMB examination and I should reconcile the questions. It's expo now. We don't have any problem with any delegate list. We were ready to run an election under any delegate list. But it is the party's responsibility to come and say, these are delegates that will vote in this election. And the party sent a panel from Abuja. The only ones that will never be in contention are the statutory delegates, which are representative of certain offices. Now, when the party electoral panel arrived, King Asara came, brought a list, the police was there, SS was there, INEC was there. INEC constitutionally has a responsibility to monitor political parties. You can also bring on INEC in Enugu and say, did you monitor primaries? Did you monitor accreditation at the Okpara Square? Were you convinced that these things are reflections of what should be constitutionally done? And the delegate list was produced. We don't have a challenge to it. We don't.
Well, from what we get as well, INEC was also represented at the primaries conducted.
It is not possible. If anybody tells you INEC came to Filbon, please put INEC. These are public things. INEC report on conduct of governorship primaries in Enugu. I can tell you authoritatively because we're all interested parties. And this case is in court already. So everybody has applied to INEC for what he has. And I can tell you that the INEC report on monitoring of a governorship election in Enugu indicated clearly that Senator Ogweze was absent. Indicated clearly that Samuel Madukonyishi was absent. Indicated clearly that Onye Konyeke was absent. It's a public document. Channels can write INEC today and say, we want to see your monitoring report in Enugu. And that monitoring report was not just signed by Enugu. INEC had a monitoring team that came from Abuja, including the head of legal in INEC in Enugu, who should make sure that things comply with the legal requirements. And this report is a public document. So INEC is a responsible organization. INEC doesn't go to where to club to run parties. INEC can't come to where Congress is being held and live there and go to a hotel. Are they going to party? They're not going to party. They have come to monitor congresses. And that's the true situation.
The elections in 2015, that's what everybody is gunning for here. Don't you think this division in your party is going to cost you your desire to maintain your lead in the...
Like I keep saying, what is this division? If we come to channels now, I believe you have an organization, Ratao or something. Everybody is in Ratao. One member of your staff goes outside your gate, not inside this compound, outside the gate, where you have that generator house or something. He sits down there. He brings a big drum. He starts drumming. I am no more part of channels, or I'm no more part of channels, or... And then people say channels can't function. Is it possible? The PDP in Enugu State is 98.9% solidly behind the candidate we've nominated.
You've not got my question. There's, one of your staff, as you put it, is outside making it. I'm not part of the staff. I'm not part of this organization. What's wrong with reconciling as you prepare for the next election?
No. You see, reconciliation, it is something that is key to us. We have been reaching out to all our brothers that ran this election. We will continue to do that. In the PDP in Enugu, it's been a family. Enugu shocks people. If you recall the run-up to party primaries, everybody said Enugu is going to war, the war will kill, the war will die. At the end of the day, the election between the Deputy Senate President and the governor, I am sure, is the only Senate seat in the entire Southeast that there was only one candidate. As brothers, the party sat together. And then the governor himself looked at the interest of the state he has worked so hard to build. He's done a marvelous job. And he said, look, you're my brother. So rather than the people laugh at us that we are fighting, I withdraw from the Senate. Senator Koremado was nominated unopposed in PDP in Enugu. It doesn't happen anywhere. Tell me one other constituency in the Southeast that a runoff of problems like that was resolved in an anticlimax manner. That is the secret of Enugu. And that is the fact, that is why in Enugu, there is no election after PDP does their primaries, because we all go PDP. Enugu is PDP. And so I tell you, efforts are being made to reach out to our brothers. We're going to continue to reach out to them. Like I told you, Senator Ogweze is one of the most respected indigenes of that state. Nobody can fault his credentials. But you know that there can be two governors in Enugu. And at every point in history, if you read the book of Kings, it will tell you, at every point in history, God provides a leader for the people that will solve the problems of the people at that particular point in time. And that is why today, It's probably his wish that Enugu should move to the golden era with Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi. And who are we to say no?
The question is, what is the issue with the delegates list?
There is practically no issue.
Because delegates are supposed to be produced at congresses. Why did the Enugu have 2 congresses?
You know, I keep questioning this situation of two. There's a legitimate and there's an illegitimate. An illegitimate.
Were they done on the same day?
On which day?
Were they done on the same day, the legitimate and illegitimate one, according to you?
No, what I'm saying is the congresses were done by the party. Of course, you know that the party could do a congress in the whole 260 wards in Enugu. Okay, there's an appeal panel, and the appeal panel comes. Your ward could be cancelled. Because if you look at our guideline for elections, it says there's an electoral panel. It says within 48 hours there's an appeal panel. If, for instance, you were elected in my Ukehe Ward 2, and have written a petition to the appeal panel and said, Maokpe is not a member of PDP, and you cannot establish you're a member of PDP, the appeal panel reserves the right to say, because you're not a member of PDP, you're not a delegate. Your election is nullified. Now, the constitution of the party says the National Executive Committee of the party, as represented by the National Working Committee, because the NEC cannot meet every day, is the highest decision-making body of the party. And it still states clearly and says, look, that the party reserves the final right as to nomination of their candidate, as to all to processes. So the party could even have woken up tomorrow morning and said, we cancel all the primaries in Enugu because it didn't conform with what we wanted. That's why it's a political party. And that's why there are plenty of political parties. And that's why if you don't like political party 1, you can be in political party B, depending on what arrangements you want. And I make bold to tell you, you see why I say these things, it's good you people go deep into this. Go and look at the result sheet being paraded, that it was what they did in Fairborn Hotel. If you take that result sheet, I give you a task. I'm ready to come back to this your studio in Lagos, even if you want it in 24 hours.
Okay,
you will see.
Mr. Aro,
Yeah.
we're almost out of time, so if I may cut you. But just before you go, what about this Catholic ticket thing?
I don't even know what Catholic ticket means. You see, Nigerians should come to the point of appreciating when people are bringing innovations that are unique. It's very fundamental.
But the Anglican bishops
I'm coming to that. When Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi was making a choice of a deputy governorship candidate, what came to his mind uppermost was that since we are going to a golden era, Enugu must enter a new phase. What is the new phase? Enugu must produce a woman for the first time in her history as a deputy governor. Now, the choice of this woman has to be put side by side with the realities on the ground. If you're a candidate going to election, you must consider which zone will produce the deputy, which local government in that zone will produce the deputy. Now, Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, after due consultation with the leaders in the state, made a decision to take a woman who has served 4 years in the House of Assembly, who is bringing along a lot of legislative experience and bringing along the massive support the women folk has given to politics in Enugu State without being put into the picture in running the administration in Enugu. Of course, we have had a lot of them in governance. Now she's been brought on board. What people who are not ready to run an election are talking about is Catholic. We have moved from Muslim to Catholic. So it is no more Christianity. I can assure you that the Anglican community in Enugu State are stronger supporters of Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi than the Catholic community.
All right.
That is the truth. And it is based on their belief that God has sent him at this time to deliver the goods to the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chidi Aro, member of the People's Democratic Party in Enugu State. Thank you for coming on the show. Sunrise Daily will continue in a moment with another perspective on the same matter. Please stay with us.